But it's okay.
It wasn't nice to meet me, so don't say that.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, bye, y'all. Yeah, they would come line up out here and say one by one, because they were all like, oh, it's so sorry,
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is, you know what time it is. Oh, my vocals are feeling strong. Guys, if you're new, you already know what I'm about on this channel. We're talking to you about Ida, and I've always told you guys this. Attitude keeps you in the room. Attitude keeps you in the room. Oh, baby girl, no matter how fine you are, baby, the attitude keeps you in the room and the attitude gets you thrown out. I say this time and time again. We watched this with Esther in the Bible and Vashti. We'll go into that a little bit deeper as well. But I want to give you the breakdown as to why Ida had to go home. If Ida watches this, I want you to watch this. Attitude keeps you in the room. It's not my beef. Guys, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification to uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. All right, let's get into the video now. I want to say this again. Attitude keeps you in the room. And there was a few things that I believe Ida was doing which was socially unacceptable. Socially unacceptable people, okay, in an environment where you're trying to be in the competition will definitely get you kicked out quickly. Okay, one thing that Ida was doing which was inappropriate, okay, which was frustrating for a lot of people, was that she was breaking personal boundaries. What I mean by that, she was breaking into spaces she wasn't called to be in. You weren't meant to be there, Ida, and you broke into these spaces where other people were and intruded, and actually became a very passive aggressive kind of move. I'm going to show you one of those moments now. Let's have a look at this.
Can I come sit with you guys?
You didn't want me to scoot over?
No, I don't need any room.
Y'all do got the whole color scheme going on right now.
Right? I feel like you're getting nervous.
I promise you I'm not.
I feel like you.
Now, here it's uncomfortable for Stacey, and she's going to be done like this twice. It almost sounds personal, but it is unfortunate because we're looking at a scenario and we're seeing that she has squeezed herself onto the sofa. Ida doesn't care what she does, and that's the problem. The IDGAF attitude doesn't work when you're in this competition. You need to give a F, all right, to a certain degree. Unless you're a bad gal, and I mean you have to be the baddest of the bunch. Even then, your attitude can give you an air of arrogance, and then people don't want to be around you, especially them, right? But what Ida was showing was a lack of respect for her counterpart. Remember I told you guys earlier on in my other video of Kyra, which has just been released, I spoke about the 6 components of trust in Daniel Goleman's breakdown of what trust is. And one of those is equity and also, reciprocity, right? Meaning, how do you, equity is how do you treat others, and then reciprocity is how do you respect others, right? And so it's like, if you are here doing this to other girls, then what will you do when you're in a relationship with me? If we're here in a competition where we're trying to find a date and you're doing this now, what will you do in the future? So it's like she broke the barriers that she wasn't meant to break down. She wasn't meant to do that. And now it's uncomfortable. If you look at Stacey's face, she's not comfortable now. Right? Like, it's too early for this tactical game, sis. Too early. And the way that you did it, it's not appeasing at all. Right? Okay, cool. So you want to play that game? That's cool. You know, you want to play that game, and now we're here.
Yeah.
The drink made me say that.
No.
Now, these two are having a great time. They've got hand gestures going on. They're hand touching. They do this later on as well in their scene, and we'll do a breakdown for them later on this week. And you see them hand touching and grabbing, and they're just enjoying themselves on the actual, get to know me stage, right? This is a personal moment. You've got 2 choices on the show. Okay, you back off and you wait for your time, or you say, can I borrow that person for a minute or two, right? And this is what happened to AJ when he was talking to Andrea at the time, and Stacey came over and grabbed him for a chat. Yeah, that's the legal thing. Yeah, do you fancy a chat? You're allowed to do that. But what we're seeing with Ida is she comes over and wants to squeeze on with them. Girl, this is a dating show. This is not Friends. You know, we're not here for friends, okay? All right, contrary to what Joel's saying, I know what he's saying about being brothers. Yes, that's amongst the men, and amongst the girls, yeah, womanhood. But when we're talking about the opposite sex, we're here dating. And what you're doing right now is a social cue to say that you don't understand boundaries. And you don't at this moment. That's why she had to go. Look at this.
Guys, can I join you guys?
Ida came into...
Can I join? It sounds almost like a kid who's looking for friends to join the party. Like you wanna come and join the playground stuff that's going on with other friends and other kids around there. That's not how it runs in this social circle. That's not how it runs in this in particular environment. Wrong move, wrong place. Okay? Can I join you? It's almost as if I want to be a part of what you're doing. Sis, you don't want to be a part of what they're doing. You want the person. You know what I'm saying? You want the person. So she's not understanding social cues, right? That's problematic in itself, and it's unattractive actually.
A conversation that I was having with Stacy, like right in the middle, right in the portion where it was getting good.
I'm loving this NBA.
Now you heard him say it. The old girl got right into the middle of his conversation with Stacy just when it was getting good. He's not going to appreciate you after this conversation's done. He's not going to like what you've done after this conversation, because when you've done it in a place where he was still having a conversation, and actually it's rude for you to say, can I join you? Rather, you should be saying, can I take you away for a conversation? Then he can reply and say, you know what, give us 5-10 minutes, right? And I'll come over there and I'll see you, right? And that gives that the option. We saw this Adriana and Rashid, right? But it's because she knew she had power over Rashid. But she was like, hey, start talking to him. And she was like, okay, don't worry, you finish your conversation and come find me, right? And that's all that Ida had to do. Hey, finish your conversation, you come find me later on, AJ, right? And that's it. But instead she wanted to join them, and it became an uncomfortable situation. I want you to watch this body language.
Pre-game outfit you have on.
First of all, where's your hand going, sis? Way too comfortable. You're breaking all touch barriers. You're breaking the touch barrier. I'm gonna, when I explain touch barrier, you'll see what I mean. Touch barrier basically is when you want. It's normally a test to find out how comfortable somebody else with you, right? And so you kind of break the barrier of touch. Maybe give them a hug or touch their shoulder, and you kind of see where they're at, right? I mean, the office is one of those places where touch barrier gets done out here, because people will be touching you in all sorts of places, but that's another story for another day. And so you see a hand on his thigh as she's sitting down. And you see, look what Stacey's doing though, marking territory. It's so interesting. I didn't even notice that at first until I've just gone back to watch it now. Stacey is doing something so interesting here. Look at her body language. As soon as Ida sat down to rub his leg, look what she's doing. She's almost, in a sense, indirectly pulling him to her side. But she's gonna have to readjust in a second now. But her hand is locked in there. Look what's happening.
Game outfit.
Now that big readjustment that Stacey did is on purpose. It's to let him know I'm uncomfortable in this situation. That she did a huge reshuffle, like had to move over like big style. It was to let him know also, as well as that she needed a space, I'm uncomfortable. It was a signal to him. I'm sure if he did, she would have thanked him. If he had said, listen, Ida, you sit here, I appreciate you, but you've just interrupted a conversation with me and Stacey, and I'm gonna give us 10 minutes. We're gonna go away, and I'll come back 10 minutes. Stacey would have fully appreciated that. Fully. Right? Fully. Okay?
I'm giving me just got off the bus vibes to go make $1 million.
Brunch?
Stacey's face can't hide. She cannot hide how frustrated she is. Right? AJ's doing a better job. But Stacey cannot hide how frustrated it is. And that's what we're talking about, reading social cues. And that when you're in a scenario like this, you have to know how to behave. When you don't know how to behave, you cause issues and you cause problems. And she's breaking people's personal spaces and their touch barriers. Same thing with David. She got real up and cozy and just sat next to him and was like, you don't have to move. No, stick there. Breaking touch barrier, breaking personal space. And when it's not called for, it becomes problematic. When it's not called for, it's annoying. It's honestly annoying. And like I said, it's a passive aggressive kind of move where you don't respect people's boundaries and you kind of bypass it, right? Jumping into people's conversations, right? And it comes off as if you don't care about the people that you're jumping into conversation with. Because if you did, you'd have noticed that we're talking. Can you come back a little bit later? This is not The Bachelor where you come and you still, you know what I'm saying? Like even then they have to steal the person. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? So she's crashed AJ and Stacey's conversation. He's annoyed because it was just getting good. Stacey's annoyed because the second time you've done this, is it personal now? You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you got to ask that question, is it personal? And I believe a lot of this is coming from her masculine energy, her level of independence, her inability to want to obey rules. Stay hydrated, guys. Her ability to want to ignore rules and ignore social cues comes off of somebody who is actually hurting inside and then says and pretends to say, I don't care. That's why I titled it IDGAF. It's almost like I don't give a F, but you do give an F. But what you're doing is you're hiding in your pain and covering with, I don't give a F. I do what I want. You don't do what you want. You actually hurt. That's the real issue here. She's really hurt. And if you watch her with Diedrich, which we're going to go into in a second, you'll see that her pain is real. You'll see that her pain is real, that she's actually feeling a lot of pain. But because obviously she wants to cover it up and not let anybody see, it comes off as, oh, I don't care what I say, I don't care what anyone says, you know, I am the way that I am. No, darling, no, you hurt. You're just covering it up well. And that's why it's coming out the way it's spilling out in this season. Let me just try and get a little bit there as well, right? And so now she moves on from the aging situation, and now she's with Diedrich, and she said only Diedrich and I think someone else, I can't remember who it was, that she actually found to be someone that she might try to pursue things with. And when you hear how she says, obviously, you know what, he would need a lot of patience to deal with me, and I think he's got a lot of patience for me. Why would he need a lot of patience for you? Because you know you're difficult. See, and people who know they're difficult also don't want to change either. That in itself is a level of pride. You can see there's difficulties in you. There's parts of you that are going to require an extreme level of patience from him. Change, sis. I think that Ida carries a lot of masculine energy, and I'm not talking about her being brutish or aggressive. It's more to do with the fact that the defense, because one of the things about masculine energy is it serves to protect, just like a ribcage does to a heart. And so when you carry that masculine energy, you become defensive. Right? That's why some people, when you ask them questions, they suddenly got the wall up. Why? Because that's the defensive masculine energy, trying to protect them from being hurt once again. Remember I told you guys, masculine energy always tries to protect the feminine energy. Our hearts, our emotions, our feelings are of the feminine energy, not female, feminine energy. Everybody needs feminine and masculine energy. So that energy, that feeling that you have, that emotion that you have that's deep inside of you, when you get hurt, what do? You use masculine energy to create boundaries and borders for people not to pass by. And I think what's happened with Ida is whatever's happened to her in her past has contributed towards her building these boundaries, or should I say borders, where, you know, it looks like I don't give a F. And then she breaks boundaries of other people because she doesn't respect her own boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, you don't respect your own boundaries, so you break other people's boundaries. All right, let's play a little bit more of the clip. We'll see this now. Look.
You're a little bossy. I just realized that today, Marvin.
Wow.
If I had to connect with anybody besides Ron, it would be Diedrich. I like Diedrich too. I think Diedrich has a lot of patience, and anybody who talks to me will have to have patience.
And, you know, there's this feeling with her when she talks, almost as if like she's aware but not aware. Like, she's self-aware but she's not aware. And so, like, when she's talking here obviously about the fact that it's Ron and Diedrich who would be the ones that she would consider, and I think the reason why Diedrich especially is because, you see, that masculine energy, when it's defensive, you know, oftentimes it's looking for the complementary energy, which is the feminine energy. So if you carry more masculine energy, you're gonna be attracting a lot of guys who have feminine energy if you're a woman. Right, who are more in tune with their feelings and more in tune with their emotions, you know, are more you know, healthier when it comes to their emotional intelligence. Right, it's not a bad thing. This is talking about emotional intelligence now. The thing is here is that I think that Diedrich may secretly have save them syndrome, savior syndrome, save them syndrome, secretly, because the way that he pursued her in this particular episode, we're going to break it down in a second or two for you guys and show you clips. He really went above and beyond, which he didn't go for Tressa. And he did that because he found Ida attractive. And so he started giving her a little leeway that he didn't give Tressa. Because when he said obviously that Tressa, Diedrich, he's like, yeah, I'm not really finding her, you know, she's my usual type, but she's not my type. I was like, she's your usual type, but she's not your type. you better refocus. And so with Dietrich, I think he may be saving Ida. He may be in that space where he wants to save her. And that oftentimes speaks more about the person trying to save than the person who's trying to save than the person who's being saved. Because the person who's being saved, we already know what their things are. But the person trying to save them all the time actually speaks about you per se. Maybe you yourself have some boundary issues yourself. Maybe you've got that in you where you want to save the person because you've always wanted to be saved. Okay? And so I just want to just kind of go into it. We'll play it a little bit.
I'm a chef,
So you want to make oxtails for me? I'm sorry for reading your mind.
Now, this was meant to be a cute moment, right? So you're gonna make some oxtails for me. So I'm sorry for reading your mind. It was actually a really good bar, but I think it's the way it's delivered. I think the energy, the tone, all of it, the way it's delivered, it didn't bang. Look at his face. Did he laugh? Did he laugh? It's a vast difference from what we saw with Kyra and Jason in their date. Just look at it sitting here. Look at his body language. Oh, his body language is telling you everything. He's got his hands clutched to his chest and interlocking it over interwoven, right? This is I think this is two things: defensiveness, keeping a distance between himself and her, right? But I think also the trueness of this is also as well to show that he is in no attack mode. He's in defense. He wants her to feel comfortable, and this is him showing his way. Like, look, I'm comfortable. I'm not on the attack. I'm not trying to get at you. I'm here to listen to you. This is me being. I'm keeping myself back. I'm keeping myself from moving forward towards you and making you feel some way. I'm gonna hold myself back. Right? And so what you hear is from, what's this? Listen.
The talent that I try not to use on people.
Sure.
But.
Sure.
Okay, great.
You nervous?
No, but whenever people.
Now just pause this part again. Again, there's no smiles and laughs from him at all, right? His eyesight is locked dead onto her as well. And he asked the question, are you nervous? I want you to pay attention to kind of how she responds to his question about, are you nervous? Very straightforward question that gets turned into an elaborate answer. And maybe the cut was there, maybe there was editing as well. But it just made me think, just like we saw in the first episode where she just can talk and talk. And the thing is, people who talk don't have very good self-awareness because they never slow down to listen. They're always talking. They don't introspectively look at themselves within, apart from when they're going to bed. And that's no beef for them. It's just that they are always on the go. And so you're going to hear a response. And you're going to wonder, why did she respond that way? Oh, I've killed myself on that. Sorry. Let's have a look. Sorry.
Whenever people start talking about cooking, I don't want it to be a level of judgment.
So I'm not judgmental.
Pause. Listen to what she said. Whenever people start talking about cooking, I don't want people to. There's always like a level of judgment. I think Ida has been judged in the past, and I'm not just talking about the cooking. I think other things have happened where she's been judged harshly in the past, and she's done one of two things. You can either crawl back into your shell and be one of those people that when they get criticized can't take it and break down, or you go the opposite end, which is I don't give a heck. I don't give a heck what anybody says. I will do what I need to do. I'll do whatever I want to do. I don't care what your judgment is. And so you hear her saying about obviously the judgment, about being judged. There's a fear of being judged here. There's a fear of being critiqued. There's a fear of being made to feel small through that judgment. Do you know what I mean? I'm guessing that's all to do with the past, not now.
So if
you asked me was I nervous, and I told you why I was nervous.
I found out that.
So obviously she now reveals again. I told you I was nervous. You obviously asked if I was nervous, and I told you I was nervous, etc. But watch what she does. She breaks touch barrier again. Like she can't help it. She breaks touch barrier again. She actually reaches over to him. Let's just have a look at this. Look.
And I told you why I was nervous.
Pause. Look at it. The whole arm is fully extended. She's always breaking touch barrier again. And maybe she doesn't realize she's doing it, but actually she's always invading a person's space. And that could be an indication that your space in your youth has always been invaded. And so this is actually you almost reflecting that behavior and then breaking other people's spaces. Because there's just no need for your arm to be fully extended to reach out again to her, but that's just how she is. But we see that consistently as a theme throughout the whole reason why she got kicked out of the show. Right?
I found out that Ida.
And all the time, even when she reached out of her hand, why is he still clasped here? Because he's trying to contain himself, like I said, and show he's a non-threat. I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to you. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm not a threat. Don't feel any way. I'm not a threat. But he's going to move from there in a second.
actually was just nervous, and that's why she was giving the homie vibe, only because she was joking so much.
Now pause. It was really interesting. I'm gonna get some water, so stay hydrated. Get some water, stay hydrated. Make sure you top on your waters, guys. What's really interesting about this is the fact that he says obviously she was giving off that homie vibe, and that's the kind of vibe he was getting from her in regards to that, right? But you're gonna watch what he does. I was getting the homie vibe, but watch what he does. It's very different to, I think, what he did for Tressa. Very, very interesting. But again,
That was her defense mechanism.
You and I have had
Fun.
fun is cool,
Yeah.
but I want to know Ida. I don't want.
pause. Now, see, beforehand, he was listening and trying to show, listen, I'm a non-threat to you. Now he's actually talking. He's broken the ranks of that, and now he's leaning in to have a conversation with her. Right now, you heard him say as well that the defense mechanism was the humor. I don't want any woman to be confused. Humor is not bad. Oh no, humor is not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just got to be done in the right way, because a lot of guys don't feel that way. A lot of guys don't like it when a girl's more humorous than they are, and always joking, right? Because it's not the ideal. That's what mandem do. So it's almost like it's unfortunately quite masculine, because that's what mandem banter and joke all the single time. We're not aware of women doing that as well. So it's like we are the only ones that actually do this. So that's why sometimes it may feel like, oh, that's a masculine trait, because that's what men do all the time. We don't see women bantering that way. We don't see women bantering the way you just bantered. It's like it's a man's thing, and that's why men often find women who are jokers or comedians to be more masculine to them. But anyway, so he's talking about that and saying that she's always been joking around, and that's part of her defense mechanisms, okay? But I want you to pay attention to this conversation now.
I want to think of Ida as the homegirl.
Pause. When he did that, look at her reaction. See, listen, as much as she wants to be contained, like almost like I don't give a F, I don't give a heck about life, her body language immediately gave away that she cares. Immediately. Let's play it one more time. We'll go back slightly. If I can go back. Damn, man, this thing is... Okay, look.
Ida is the homegirl.
You see that straight away? When he said, you're giving off the Ida is the homegirl vibes. Straight away, her neck, her head, her eyes, everything rolled, cuz. Roll it down, roll, control it down. You know what I'm saying? So you see her reacting like that because, again, the defensive, you see, this is the thing I keep saying to you guys. No matter how much masculine energy you're going to carry, you still care. It's just that the masculine energy covers you up, and that is one of the defense mechanisms in how you deal with people. But you will always leak how you truly feel. She wants to be loved. Listen, she's not pretending as if she doesn't want to be loved. She wants to be loved. That's why she's on the show. But watch the head shape. Homie vibes. What?
I like to have fun. I like to joke. I mean, people laugh at me, but at the same time, I want it to be authentic.
Now, what he's done here, he's broken touch barrier. He's grabbed her hand. Listen, this guy really liked her. I'm going to be honest with you. He really did like her. And he did something different to what Tressa was. Because you see, when he mentioned about Tressa, he was talking about, you're my type, but not my type. And, you were giving off homie vibes. Okay, she was giving off homie vibes. I get you saying. But look what he's doing. He's going to make an effort to save her. This is the problem I'm talking about. She's giving off very defensive energy, but he's seen it as, well, she's not giving that energy to me. Oh, no, what I get is different. No. I'm an exception to the rule. You're not an exception to the rule. I'm going to tell you that to you again. You're not an exception to the rule. You're just trying to save her. And that's the key difference. Because you find her attractive, you're trying to save her.
It get real.
If all I know about you is joking, I ain't never had a chance to be serious with you to know any other aspect of Ida.
Right.
And
I'll pause that. I missed a bit there. Apologies. I missed a bit. Let's just go slightly back. I'll read this again. Her lip moves when he mentions about her being joking all the time. And the reason why I guess it moves is because she felt a type of way. She felt a type of way about the situation. And I think the reason why she felt a certain type of way about the situation is because when you call out someone's behavior, especially when you've built up masculine energy of defense, when they're calling you out on your behavior, it hurts. because you know why you're doing that. You want understanding. And so when they're calling you out, it almost feels like they're not understanding you and they're misunderstanding you. Oh, everybody doesn't understand me. No, you've presented this image. You've given us a representative, and that's what we can go on. Right? So let's just watch it. Let's watch this part. Watch. Listen to it again and watch her body language.
Know about you is joking. I ain't never had a chance to be serious with you to
Pause. If every time I see you, you're always joking, you know, then I haven't ever been able to see you in your what? And look at her lip right now. Her lip just suddenly went into you know, she suddenly went, because you're hearing something that you know, and she knows it to be true. She knows that she knows that, like, she's covering up. She knows that she's defending herself, right? She knows that, but it's hard to stop because you're scared of being hurt. You're scared of being hurt, and it's playing out even in her body language when she's receiving this information.
know any other aspect of either.
Right.
And she's gonna do something which is really interesting. She's gonna defend
I
herself.
have an attraction towards you, but all
This
that's
is my first
ever-
time learning that.
You see that? Now, first thing he said, obviously, he said first of all, what he said was, "I find you attractive." Now, he didn't say that to Tressa. That's why he's willing to go beyond homie vibes and go past it. See, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, he didn't, when he's saying to Tressa, you're giving off homie vibes for him, and the reason why she's a type and not a type is because she's not in shape. That's the honest truth. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. Because she's a good looking woman, Tressa. If she was in better shape, and this is no beef to Tressa, if her stomach was flatter, okay, yeah? If her stomach was flatter, okay, it was a little bit more trimmer, right? He will be saying, listen, he found Tressa attractive, and he wouldn't be saying homie vibes. He started saying homie vibes about Ida, but he's telling her, I find you attractive. And then he's going to give her answers to be able to break out of the homie vibe. But he doesn't provide it for Tressa. Tressa even later on let us know that they sound like they're better as friends. Now, when he tells her this information, let's just go slightly back. Okay, listen to this.
an attraction towards you, but all
This is
that's
my first
ever,
time learning that.
because you clown all the time.
So when he tells her, listen, obviously, you know, this is my first, she's like, this is my first time knowing about that. And he said, because you clown all the time, right? She's struggling to take the information in. And I understand that, because it's hard to take personal criticism, right? And it's like, you criticizing me. This is who I am. This is who I am. And some people will say, take me as I is, right? And that's why the hand gets pulled back. You know, the hand gets pulled back because honestly, the truth of the matter is, she's hurt by that. She's hurt. But she ain't gonna say it though, is she? She won't say it. And the reason why she won't say it is because it makes her look weak. And that's because of what you've experienced in your youth. Okay? It's what you've experienced in your youth. Okay? She was hurting. Okay? She was so much hurting in her. And that's why later on, you know, she ends up going home, right? Listen to this.
Home. That's what I'm thinking right now. Why does it matter what I think? It matters what they think, right? Because I'm the one going home.
That is a hurt response. It's a defensive one, but it's a hurt one. She is hurt because she feels judged and criticized, and feels rejected by going home. Not necessarily that they rejected her, but the feeling of not being wanted is a rejection, and it's a trigger of what's happened in the past. I'm telling you, man, I'm sure she's experienced some deep things. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe she's just how she is. I just don't see people growing up just like that. There's always a contributing factor of a past situation that contributes towards that. And I think with Ida, there's been some heavy rejection, heavy criticism, heavy judgment from people that are close to her that you know, supposedly maybe care about her. And that's why she's hardened up. And so now she's in a situation where they're now telling her you can go home, and she's feeling frustrated and she's feeling annoyed, right? Look at this.
Please say your goodbyes.
Nice to meet you.
Send me home, but it's okay.
It wasn't nice to
Okay, this is her defense mechanism, right? To avoid the embarrassment or the feeling of shame of having gone home so early and being rejected by the people in there, right? Because they said obviously she got the lowest votes and stuff, and she's going home early. It's like, it's a rejection, it's a kick in the face, right? So she makes these jokes about, you know, but you sent me home. If you really wanted me here, you sent me home. Why people do that? She's doing a last little kick out to let you know that obviously I'm not hurt, right? I'm making banter. No, you're hurt. That's why you're bantering at that point. You can't take it, so you're saying it out loud. You're verbalizing, right?
me, so don't say that.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, bye.
You see how she did Diedrich? See how she did Diedrich? You know, she's hurt, man. I keep saying that to you. And look, one of the things I do in coaching with a lot of couples and single people is talk about, use the word I'm hurt. You are hurt. A lot of us, especially black community, we can't use the word I'm hurt because we've been built in a way that says we shouldn't say we're hurt. We should use anger instead, frustration instead. We should use those words instead because that's okay. That's masculine. That's strength. But when we say we're hurt, that's weakness. That's vulnerability. Nah, you weak. You're punk. What? You're hurt. Ida, you're hurt. And that's why you said what you said. That's why you pushed Diedrich at the end off. It should have just been a hug and say, look, good luck or whatever and go. But you couldn't do that because the feeling of rejection is burning in her gut. And so many people who are watching this might be getting angry at Ida. Are you Ida? Are you defensive that you can't now take criticism, you can't take rejection, or a situation like this where it feels like you're being rejected by the world all over again? Are you Ida? You know, I always say this, we look at these people so we can learn from them. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys like, share, subscribe. Let me put a little bit more actually before we go.
Yeah, they would come line up out here and say one by one because they were all like, oh, we're so sorry to see you. No, the you're not. I feel like everybody who was all hugging on me and grabbing on me and rubbing on my ass yesterday owes me an explanation. But
so now there's a political situation where she's like, look, everybody who was up on me, up on my body, grabbing me yesterday, they owe me an explanation now. Why? Because I thought I was being accepted and I've been rejected. So I've misscrewed the communication. So what information have you guys sent to me? You've been saying that you've been inadvertently been saying you like me, and suddenly all of a sudden now I'm going home, I'm the least liked. How? She can't even see that maybe some of the things that she might have done. She doesn't even ask that question. Maybe I did something. No. She's like, yeah, maybe you should ask them why I'm going home. She can't introspectively look in within herself. So that's why Ida's going home, unfortunately. Attitude keeps you in the room. I always tell you this, guys. Beauty gets you in, but attitude keeps you in. Esther in the Bible, the reason why she became a queen is because Vashti didn't have the attitude. Her attitude was all off, but she had the beauty. And unfortunately, she got kicked out the room. So, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications that are up. Lows, we appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded.